Hi everyone, Allison here from the Protocase Designer team. Today I'm going to show you how to use the layers function in Protocase Designer. So layering is especially helpful when you're working with complex designs because it lets you group similar elements and hide all the other elements in the editor. This will allow you to focus only on the aspects you want to create and edit and hide all of the others. Layering can also affect the end product depending on what is being layered. For example, if you have overlapping graphics with a graphic in one layer and a graphic in a different layer, you could change the order to determine which graphic is visible in the final product. So let's get started. I'm going to create a new U-shape enclosure for this example. As always, to start editing this enclosure to customize it, I need to click on Edit Face and select the face of the enclosure that I want to edit. Okay, now we're in the face editor. You can see the Layers section on the right-hand side of your screen. When you're starting a new design, you'll see that there is a default layer. The default layer is always present and is always used first. It cannot be moved, nor can it be deleted. Let's first add a new layer by clicking on the New button. Here, you'll need to give this layer a name. You can name it anything you like, but I do recommend being as descriptive as possible so that you can keep your layers straight once you have several of them. I'm going to call this one Input. Next, I'm going to add a few more layers one at a time. Once I have that done, I can show you how to move and edit those layers. Okay, now I've got my 4 layers created: Input, Output, Power, and Display. Let's say I want to work on the Input layer first. I'm going to click on that layer to start adding objects to it. I'll add a rectangle cutout and some graphic labeling. Now I want to add some elements to the Output layer. I'll click on that layer, but notice that I can still see the Input layer's objects. I can actually even still move any of the objects in the Input layer, or any other layer too. If I did want to prevent objects in other layers from being able to be moved or edited, I need to use the Lock function. I can select those objects I want to lock and click the button that's called Is Locked. While that button is selected, the objects cannot be moved or edited in any way. If I want to unlock those items, I just need to uncheck the button that's called Is Locked. If I only want to see the Output layer, I need to hide the other layers. You can do that by clicking on the eye symbol that's beside the layer that you want to hide. Now the Input layer is hidden. With the Output layer selected, I will add another cutout and graphic labeling. If I want to show the Input layer again, I just need to click that little eye button again. This is a toggle button. Let's go over the other buttons in the Layers section. The 2 arrow buttons will allow you to move the layer up or down in the list. One thing to note, these Move buttons position the layers in the order that they will produce and in the order that they are drawn on the screen. There is one exception to this rule. Cutouts are always displayed on top, no matter how the layers are positioned. You can rename any of your layers, except for the default of course, by double-clicking on the layer name. Finally, you can also delete a layer by clicking on the red X button. However, if you do delete a layer, just know that you will also be deleting all of the objects you have placed within that layer. You can copy and paste objects from one layer to another. Let's say I want to take the cutout and graphics from the Output layer and paste it into the Power layer. I'll select the objects I want to copy, press Ctrl+C on my keyboard. Then I'm going to click on the layer where I want the cutout and objects to be placed, then paste them. Just make sure you've actually selected the layer in which you want to paste your objects. So that covers everything you need to know about using layers in Protocase Designer in order to help you organize your editing and customizing. If you have any questions or feedback, please comment below or email info@protocasedesigner.com. Thanks very much for watching, and happy designing!